Dan Larson here at the photo booth with the top 10 action figures of 2025, part 3. If you missed parts 1 and 2, don't fret, they're not here on this channel. They are over on our main channel, Secret Galaxy, as live streams. Parts 1 and 2 were done at the end of January, February, March. End of March, somewhere around there. And then sometime after June. Because we do them quarterly, and the last 2 we did as live streams, just because it's been a crazy busy year, and that was the only way I was going to get them done. First and foremost, these top 10s serve me. They're a fun little game that I like to play with myself through the year to keep things exciting, and I just love ranking things and comparing figures against each other. So it's really an indulgence for me, and I do like to get the videos done, but sometimes you just don't have the time and the resources. So we're back in the booth now to get that taken care of for part 3. For those who have never seen these videos before, I do have some self-imposed rules that I use to keep things sort of limited to a certain scope. I really do want the top 10 figures for me of 2025. And to that end, there's a couple of rules. Number 1, the figure had to be released in 2025. There's a little bit of gray area at the end/beginning of the years where it's like, did it really hit on December 31st or did it hit on January 1st? Sometimes shipping and distribution issues make those decisions for themselves. So it can get a little squishy there as the years butt up against each other, but that's not really a factor in this particular chapter of this story. Number 2, the figure had to be purchased in that year. So I want figures released in 2025, purchased in 2025. Number 3, I do on occasion get sample figures, review samples from different companies, and I don't automatically include them. I don't want to play favorites there or anything, but I will include them if it was a figure that I was going to purchase anyway. As everybody knows, everything is done via pre-orders and stuff now, so in some cases, yes, I did get a review sample of a figure and that allowed me to cancel a pre-order, but that doesn't mean it's automatically disqualified for inclusion in my top 10 of 2025. I think that's it. Oh, last rule is anything that's been previously eliminated is eliminated until the end of the year. So up front here, we have the current top 10, Boss Fight Studios, Sorozoic Warriors. I can't remember this guy's name. I should have looked it up before I started. Number 9 is Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified, Frag Viper. Number 8, Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified, Darklon. Number 7 is Four Horsemen Studios, Mythic Legion. Yeah, it's more like Cosmic Legions, but it's one of their sort of outside of continuity projects done in collaboration with Toylanta, ATL 25. Four Horsemen Studios, Mythic Legions, Bedarak, or Bedarach, not sure how it's pronounced. Hasbro Marvel Legends, ROM, Classified Dial Tone. Four Horsemen Studios, again, outside their continuity. That is Headhunter, done in collaboration with Zolocon. Number 2 is the Mythic Legions Terpiculi, and currently at number 1 is the McFarlane Toys Silver Age Superman. If you want to see how I got to this particular 10, again, go back and watch those 2 previous live streams. You can just jump through the timeline till you get to the actual figure elimination part. I believe we intentionally put those, we front-loaded them at the beginning of the live stream to make sure if that's all people wanted to watch, then you can hop in and watch that. But that's it. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull the current top 10 out of here, and then I'll do some eliminations on the remaining 30 plus figures back there. Once we get it down to a reasonable, manageable quantity of figures in the booth, we'll bring these 10 back in, and then top it all off and see where we land up for the final 10 going into the last quarter of 2025. Trying to be really careful because if I hit one of these figures, they're all going. I don't like using stands with figures because I feel like figures should be able to stand up on their own, and that's the main reason I don't like toe articulation on my figures is it makes them entirely unstable, and I don't feel like the trade-off for posability is worth the instability of the figure on my shelf or the need to then have to have a stand just to keep it standing up. So we're gonna go ahead and start eliminations here. It's there's a couple of those that are pretty obvious to me right off the bat. Slice and Dice, the classified Slice and Dice were I picked those up at Comic-Con in San Diego, my first Comic-Con this year, And I was just kind of feeling a bit of a Mortal Kombat mood. Jada's got the Street Fighter license. Those are incredible figures, although I guess I haven't purchased any of them this year. And I, traditionally have been more of a Mortal Kombat fan than Street Fighter, so I grabbed these guys because they really hit that vibe for me. But ultimately, not my favorite figures of the year, so those are a quick and easy elimination. Also, while we're at it, we can go ahead and take out Rogue and Shanna, also picked up at San Diego Comic-Con in the 3-pack. I grabbed this mainly because I wanted Shanna to cap off the Kazar, Zabu, Shanna family trilogy there. Rogue, I don't really have that. I read the comics, but I don't really have that nostalgic attachment to Savage Land Rogue, so she's not one that I really feel like I need to have in there. Shanna's fine. There's a couple of things that could have been done differently about her. I like the pinless. She's articulated enough. Obviously, you can't have long hair like that without sacrificing some articulation. But, on the shelf next to Zabu and Kazar, she looks great. All right, let's see. A couple other easy ones for me to pull would be, I've always been a sucker for the Nightfall Batmans, and I swear to God, this will be the last one I'm gonna get. I got the last McFarlane one. I don't even know why I grabbed this one. I don't like the shiny cape. I want to at some point hit that belt with some, maybe a dry brush, a wash of some sort, just to tone down that yellow a bit. I do like the gray. I would like the blue more if it wasn't shiny. I don't like it shiny, so it sucks always having to, upgrade a figure, a $25, $30 figure with a $25, $30 cape, but, here we are. He really does need a better wired soft goods cape to go with this. I just don't know if I'm ever going to be able to match that blue on the cowl, but he's an easy pull. The last one that came out that had the brighter colors from McFarlane, I did put a wired soft goods cape on that, and it looks great, and I don't even know why I grabbed that one. Other eliminations here that I can quickly and easily make. Characters that are just there's no way they're going to make it into the top 10. Retro Flint, I think I actually do like the previous release of Flint better. This one seems a little bit smaller, and, I appreciate that it's the original outfit and stuff. But I don't know, I guess I grew to like that, the one that was based on the game or whatever, that first Flint release. I don't know, maybe it's just been on my shelf so long that I just prefer it. Who knows? Gunner, this is from the Rattler HasLab. This was the Cobra Gunner, sort of the rear seat guy. He's cool, but, there's nothing particularly special about him that's going to allow him to beat all of these other figures that I like so much better. Next out, we can definitely take out Blue Venom. I only have this because I grabbed the Captain America Venom 2-pack. He's fine enough. I have a different Venom, a custom Venom on my shelf. That's my shelf Venom. But I really just wanted the Captain America, and the Captain America is real nice. Actually, Professor X, you can go too. This is not his original wheelchair. I grabbed this from one of the older Toy Biz X-Men movie figures. I don't know, I just thought he looked better with the wheelchair. It's sort of his, classic look. Who else can go? Who else can make this easy on me? Some quick and simple eliminations before we really get into the deliberations. Retro CoverGirl can go. Fantastic figure. So much better than the first release, although I do like the outfit on the first release. The head, the face are a little messed up on that. And worst for mine, the previous figure, the bicep cut, it always pops off. It always pops out of there. So I don't know if there was some manufacturing issue with that, or if that was just, I don't know, something with my particular one. But yeah, so much better here. Great faces, interchangeable hair, hat. The sledgehammer is great. She's pinless. She's just a fantastic figure with a lot of personality. She's definitely my shelf CoverGirl, but she's not going to make my top 10. There's no way. Who else can we take out? Baroness. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and pull her too. You know what? I'm going to pull Baroness. I'm going to pull Wild Weasel. Those can both go. Baroness, just two really fantastic looking figures. Baroness is absolutely gorgeous. Definitely looking forward to another release of her with these parts in that sort of classic black outfit. Wild Weasel, man, I was looking forward to Wild Weasel for so long, but something about the shape of this head, I think it's the same problem that a lot of like Star Wars figures and stuff make, is that the helmet just isn't really big enough. I feel like the helmet should be bigger. This pipe, the hose keeps popping out. I do need to glue that in to get it to stay. And then, I don't know, I just wish the helmet just doesn't have a lot of character to me. And I feel like that's something that the vintage figure really did have, and that this one's lacking. And since I don't want to display him without his helmet on, kind of being stuck with that helmet isn't great. And I really have no use. I appreciate the nod to the comics, but I have no use for the smashed out helmet as far as just displaying my collection is concerned. What do we got left here? All kinds of stuff. This guy, Urzak, I think. He was in the 2-pack over here. This is part of the Legacies of Mythos, where they're sort of going back and revisiting characters that had been previously released in the line with better articulation, you know, more sculpting updates, more details. And this is actually not his head and hands. I don't love the orcs in my collection. I do, I don't know, just for whatever reason, it doesn't fit my mythology on my shelves. So I did put the orc skull and skeleton hands on this, and I do prefer it that way. But that's not a figure that's going to make my top 10 either. Now, what do we got? I do like this Snake Eyes that came with the polar bear, but he's not strong enough to beat out so many of the other figures that are in here. Maybe the polar bear will. I'm not sure. We'll see. All right, now we're getting into the tougher territory here with all of these other characters that... oh, you know, actually, I can pull Silver Knight here. This was the sort of like those Legacies of Mythos. This is the Silver Knight sort of 2.0. Better articulation and sculpting, detail, paint, all that stuff. He's really, really great, really, really posable, but I also have this body and, you know, a knight in like 7 different colors, so it's not that particularly unique amongst my collection. And all right, well, June, the swan back here, Princess. Man, I want to like these figures so much more than I do, especially for the price. But again, it's like there's a lot of things included with these. This is Storm Collectibles. There's some weird articulation. I don't know if you can see the gap like in her waist there. That is kind of an issue. And then I don't know, the material on these capes just feels like it is going to scratch and mark so easily. And the worst part about it is the cost. They are way too expensive. And then how long it's taking to get the actual team out. I may just abandon them before they actually get the next 3 members of that squad out. There's only 2 so far, and it's been like, I don't know, 3 years just to get those 2. I would like to see that completed in my lifetime. So I gotta mark it down points for that. All right, what do we got left here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Too many, because we still got 2 off the booth here. So who else can we pull quickly, easily? I'm gonna pull armored. I'm gonna pull this Battle Cat figure is a lot of fun. The Thundercats Masters of the Universe mashup Battle Cat figure. Removable helmet, these claws come off. I do kind of wish this came off and had more of like a armor piece that matched his saddle. That was more of a, but I get the, Thundercats logo and all that. He's just a lot of fun. Would love to see this in a more realistic take as well. But he's not going to make the top 10. Cobra Commander, Armored Cobra Commander is nice, but he too, I don't think he's going to top out a lot of the other figures that are still in this booth, much less the ones that are in the current top 10. Same with version 4 Snake Eyes here. I don't think he's going to make that final cut. But hey, look, like I said, they're all eligible to come back at the end of the year for the final top 10 when I really have some time to deliberate and see who's really worthy. So let's just address the animals real quick. Classified is really, really, really just killing it with the animals. I love everything they're doing. This little zoo that we've been able to build through a pseudo-military science fiction toy line. Love the polar bear. Order, I'm actually going to consider as part of the team here, Law and Order, and Serpentor, Lizard here. Those are both going to go. While I love the polar bear and the lizard, they're just not top 10 material. All right, so we are down to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Oh, before Mike Case loses his mind, I'm going to pull this Zujitsu figure. Uh, I also picked this up at San Diego Comic-Con. I don't know, maybe I just had too much money with me that day. It's fun. I can't, you know, like for whatever it is, Four Horsemen did the sculpting or the design on the, I believe on the head and hands, maybe. I think the body is recycled from Karate Kid or something. I don't know, but I have had fun with this figure. It's silly. It's karate guys with animal heads and parts and stuff, but, you know, price, I don't know. This, you know, the plastic or the soft plastics, they just aren't soft enough to get out of the way to allow for decent posing. But I don't know, I've had fun with this figure, and I was very tempted to buy another one at New York Comic Con, but ended up passing. So so there you go. So what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, I still have twice as many figures as I should have in here, but I'm going to go ahead and bring in the current top 10 just so we can start narrowing this down for reals. Their current order no longer matters. Just because Superman was at number 1 doesn't mean he will necessarily even make it through this round of the top 10. Nothing's guaranteed in the top 10 rankings, except that it's going to cause me a lot of stress. Who else we got? You. I'm going to put Bederac in the back here. And is that, oh, we need Darklon, we need Rom. And Frag Viper, and I think that's it, and we'll be back on track here. All right, back on track. So I think we can quickly say that as much as I love Saurozoic Warriors, I think it's clear what my sort of, you know, taste in figures is here. And while it'd be nice to include that as something extremely different, I got too much to deal with already as it is. Now it gets tough. Now it gets tough. Darklon, I don't think Darklon's going to make it through. I don't think... it's tough because you start having to say what's more important, the nostalgic value of a character like Dial Tone, the holy cow, I never thought that would ever get made of Nicholas Hammond Spider-Man, the fantastic update to a character that I've always been a huge fan of, Captain America, and used to collect every single figure that came out, but I stopped doing that a long time ago once they dared me to keep doing that. And then we got a couple of figures here that are very similar. Krieger from Savage Crucible, Warrior with Ball and Chain from Savage Crucible, Who-Man from Savage Crucible, and Jaeger from Savage Crucible. Those are all kind of hitting the same notes, doing the sort of same thing. So all 4 of them are definitely not going to make it through. It's just a matter of which ones are going to get taken out. Actually, you know what? Warrior with Ball and Chain is real nice. I might be the only... I think he's really... other than... the Mythic Legions has done their sort of barbarian that can pass as Conan. So other than that, this really is my only Conan in my collection. And I like it a lot, but again, I got to make some cuts here, and that's seems like an easy place to make it. Frag Viper, you can go... I'm looking at that classified Legacy Firefighter in the back there. And I want him to hang on just because he's so different from everything else that's here. You know, it's like just a regular guy, just a firefighter in amidst all these fantasy warriors and space robots and mutants and whatever else. I would love for that guy to stick around, but I just don't know that he's going to make it. All right, can we split the difference here on Krieger, Jaeger, and Who-Man? Of those 3, I think I like Krieger the best. Who-Man's really nice. This gold armor is so sharp. And when I say sharp, I mean sharp. Like, you got to be careful how you handle it because these points are really painful. He's got alternate heads. The other one has a sort of screaming face and yellowed out eyes. He's got his sword here. This armor shoulder pad is repositionable and his giant shield. The base bodies on these barbarians from Savage Crucible are really fantastic. Man, this Krieger Jaeger is so nice here. He's got like the sort of wolf face and the crossbow with the wolf on it. He's got a sword on his back there. Really nice figure. Cloth goods cape. But Yeah, I really only want to keep one of those two, so it's either got to be Krieger or Jaeger. And I think I've just had more fun, honestly, with Krieger, so I'm gonna pull out Jaeger. These are the decisions that I'll regret later. This is, man, I can't. I'm gonna do it. I gotta do it. Well, he might make his way back in at the end of the year. I'm gonna pull Bedorak. Absolutely gorgeous slab of evil plastic here with his horns and teeth and fangs and giant sword and everything. My problem with him is similar to a lot of the other large scale figures that Four Horsemen has produced, is they look gorgeous, but you just can't really do much with them. They're sort of good for one or two poses, and that's really all they can do on the shelf. And, you know, I want to put them in some more action stances, some fights and stuff. And so all of these are better suited for doing that. So in this moment, looking for justification to pull figures, that's why that one's got to go. All right, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right, hey, we only got to get rid of 3 more. Fantastic. Let's go. Let's do this. 3 more. Who's out? All right, you two, you're basically doing the same thing for me. You're very unique. All right, I think Cap is definitely in. I am so happy about this Cap figure. He is absolutely gorgeous. Spider-Man, I'm feeling the same way. I think, ooh boy, so we got superheroes, fantasy guys. Oh man, a monster. All right, this is where it's getting tough. Krieger. Oh, all right, one of you two has to go. All right, you're gonna go, even though, look, this is the guy that looks the most like me, and I'm gonna sacrifice him for the figure that I just think is more compelling visually. This lion helmet is fantastic. He's got a lot of cool swords. I dig that color scheme with the blue. Really, really sharp. Wow. Man, Law and Order and Dial Tone were some of my favorites, absolute favorites as a kid. So it's real hard to get rid of them. Superman is just so fantastic. I'm really happy with that release as well. This guy I love. You know what? I hate to do it, but I got to pull this firefighter. He's just not. He might make it back for the he might make it back for the end of the year, but for now I got to pull him. And now we just got to pull one more. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. All right. All right. I'm gonna go with. I got, you know, oh. I'm looking at Rom because I'm feeling like I'm only leaving Rom because other people like him so much and wanted him so bad, and B, I want to make sure Hasbro keeps coming back to this sort of Crystar, Rom, Warbow. I want to encourage them to keep going down that path. But if I'm standing here and saying, is that actually, you know what, I just talked myself into it. Is that actually one of my favorite figures? I got to pull it. It's really, really nice. Long time coming. Happy for everybody who's been waiting for him for so long. Might make it back for the final top 10 of the year, but for right now, got to pull the guy. All right, so all that's left is to put these in final top 10 order for part 3, and based on the decisions I just made, I think that means that Law and Order, so Dial Tone is going to be last here. Actually, I almost pulled ATL 25, so I think ATL 25 is number 10. I think Dial Tone is number 9. Law and Order coming in at 8. I think we're gonna go 7. I think we're gonna. Newness bias has a lot to do with what's happening right now as well. This Spider-Man figure just came in a couple of weeks ago, and so it feels so much fresher and newer than, you know, Silver Age Spider-Man. So I'm tempted to, or Silver Age Superman. So I'm tempted to put him ahead of that. But like, you know, I try to keep myself in that mindset of, if this figure hadn't been released yet, if I got both of those on the same day, you know, which one would I actually be more excited about? More, you know, if I could only keep one, which one would I keep? So it's a real tough call, but I think right now the way we're feeling and the way we're looking is that, well, yeah, man, Spider-Man, Captain America, Superman, that is a tough call. And then these three fantasy characters are just so completely different from them that it is very hard to judge these three versus those three. But that's why I'm here, is to make the hard decisions. So we're going to go, we're going to go, all right, just peel off the Band-Aid. We're going to go Krieger, Spider-Man, nope, we're going to go Krieger. Yep, we're going to go Krieger, Spider-Man, Headhunter, Terpiculi, Superman, Captain America. That's it. That's what we're doing. Write it in, take a picture, take a screen cap. Like I said, this is part 3. We'll do part 4 at the end of December. I'm already regretting these decisions, but it's over. It's done. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A little bit of turnover from part 2. ATL made it through. Dial Tone made it through. Headhunter made it through. Terpiculi, Superman made it through. But we also got some newcomers. And that's cool. That's exciting. I would have been really shocked if I had bought 30 figures since the last time I did this, and none of them made it into the top 10. I'd really have to reassess what I'm doing as an action figure collector if that was the case. But that's it. Thank you very much for watching this. Please be sure to check out our main channel, Secret Galaxy. Obviously, if you aren't already familiar with that, not as much to do with action figures, a lot more to do with just general pop culture, documentaries, and that sort of thing. Also check out our live streams usually on Saturday nights. They're called the unannounced live streams because I don't always announce them. Sometimes I feel like doing it, sometimes I don't, and I don't want to be locked into that schedule. So more of this kind of talk and that kind of chatter on the live streams. We will see you there. Thanks for watching. Later.